Hi, Karen Hadler here, stampingbees.co.nz, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Welcome back. So lovely to see you all. Today, I'd really like to share with you that something made with the Timeless Tulips stamp set that is in the new mini catalogue. It was a stamp set that we got given at the last conference and it is gorgeous. So I'd like to share that with you and give you some helpful hints on use of the punch that is part of that bundle. So let's flip over and let's get started. Hi, so here's the Timeless Tulip bundle. And it is at the beginning on page 6 with the bundle advertised, and then that also gives you the page number, page 43, which you can then go to find out more information. So it's fantastic how they have set out this mini catalogue. Makes it so easy. So on this page, page 43, it then shows you exactly what the stamp is. Very, very large pictures of the stamp. In fact, I wonder if that's even, let me just have a look. This is mounted on a block, and look at that. It is the actual size. So fantastic, and it's a distinctive stamp, so it has lots and lots of detail. So really good page to have a look at what you are buying. But it is gorgeous, and these two here are on the punch, which is the punch here. So you can use that in two ways. It's fantastic for the leaves, but I don't know if you can see here, you can punch that out and add to the tulip by adding some extra petals. So another fantastic use for the punch. But anyway, let me show you what we will be making today. I'll pop that over there. So this is the card that we will be making today. And I have created a little bouquet here with this, and I've used Very Vanilla. I just think Very Vanilla has a lovely soft focus on it. And the card, the thick Very Vanilla cardstock is cut at 10.5 centimetres by 29.5 centimetres. And then I just have ordinary Very Vanilla cardstock on the front on the panel, which we'll be working on. And that's 14.5 centimetres by 10 centimetres. And the strip here of colour from the Designer Series paper, which I'll show you in just a moment, I've got it just here, is at 5 centimetres by 14.5 centimetres. So I've just picked these colours because I just love the colours that this paper had, and I've coordinated with it. So I will show you. So this paper comes from, I can't remember the name of the stamp set because the bundle, because I don't have it, but it is with all the gorgeous lipsticks, high heels, purses, all those. I absolutely love the paper. As you can see, Best Dressed, that's what it is called, the bundle, the suite. On one side you've got the perfumes, etc., and shoes, and on the other side it's got the most gorgeous flower paper. And I'm just a sucker for any kind of flower paper, but I do think it's beautiful. So I use the reverse side. There's another one in some other colour palettes. I did use just the reverse side of the handbags to make my strip. Okay, so let's get this underway. We'll start off, whoops, just knocking things about. That's the envelope. So I have just pre-cut these. I just taught this in my class, so this was the extra set. So with the thick Whisper White, all I've done, the measurements I've given you, but all I've done is actually just cut lengthways the A4 sheet at 10.5 centimetres, and you get two full card sizes from that. So I'll just fold that in half and get my bone folder. And that aside, that's ready to go. And we're going to work on this sheet here. That's going to be our front, and this is our scrap, and the envelope I'm going to pop to one side. So just to start off with, I will glue this on to the front piece. Oops, it's coming out a bit blobby. I'll just leave a slight edge on this piece. Just looks like another stripe. There we go, and that's all ready to go when we get cracking. So I'll pop that aside as well. Now, what I wanted to explain to you about using a punch. Before you stamp, it is a really good idea to flip your punch over and look at the orientation of what you're going to be punching and how you'll be feeding the paper in. So for example, I am going to be stamping the tulip, and I want to be able to pop the punch in with the least hassle, if you know what I mean. Like if I punch it up there, then I'm going to have to cut the paper to get it in because the punch finishes there. So I'm wanting to look at that and stamp my tulip in that orientation. And I also want to be able to go from left to right because there is a punch on that side, so I don't want to be punching out and cutting out the next tulip in error with that. If I was going this way and I'd stamp the tulips, then every time I punched out, I'd be chopping into the next tulip. And for the leaf, that we're going to be using this as a leaf, I will need to be going from left to right. From right to left, sorry. Right to left. And also to make sure that I've got this in the right orientation. So I'll quickly show you. So we need to stamp 2 of this large tulip. Just get all my stamps out here. So this just comes up beautifully. It is a distinctive stamp, as I said, so the stamp is just beautiful. Just all the detail in there. I'll hold that up for you to have a look. Isn't that just stunning? All that detail. So I need 2 of these. I want 2 large ones. Just pop that there. And then I also want a small one. Where is it? There it is. Now the small one I'm going to have to hand cut. So I'm just going to flip this over now, and I'm going to do my leaves. Oops. Remember, I need to do these from right to left. Now I also need to make sure that I stamp this with the curve going the right way, which is that way to match. So I'm going to punch, stamp, punch, and stamp down here. Now I have used, this colour was Highland Heather, because as you know, we don't have the purple posy. But this coordinates beautifully. And the other colour in this stripe, so I was going from the colours in here. So this is purple posy, this is pretty peacock, this is mint macaroon, and that is purple posy. So I was trying to coordinate the colours, which I like to do. So this mint macaroon actually has turned out more green than I actually would have thought it would have. So was really good. So 1, 2, 3. Oops, do that one again. Didn't press goes down all over it. 4, 3. And then I want 2, now I've got 2 large tulips, so I want to ink up 2 large stems. And then I want 1 small one for the small tulip. So we're going to be hand cutting those. So let me just, okay. Let's punch out the flowers first. So it is quite good when you're punching if you orientate your punch, and if you quite think, yep, that's right, if you push halfway down, you can double check that it is indeed in the right place. I always like to press halfway and then the card doesn't move. Double check again, and then if I'm happy, I punch. So that's 1. And I've half gone down, double checking. Yep, that's good. And see how that's cut out that paper there, but it hasn't affected my stamping. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the leaf. Press down halfway, double check I'm happy, cut it out. Don't want that one. That one's not been stamped properly. There we go. So I have got those. I'll put that over there. So as you can see, I've punched these out. Well, that's actually not what I've punched out. This is though. I've punched it out, and as you can see, there is a white trim on what you punch out. The same with the leaves. There, so they've both got that white trim. So when you cut something else that you're going to be using with the same, is this the other leaf? Let's have a look. Yes, you need to remember that when you start cutting out additional pieces. So I'm going to cut around here, just leaving that same white edging, so that it all matches together. Otherwise you'll find it looks different, doesn't look quite right. Now remember, when you're cutting, you move your paper around rather than your scissors, and this just makes it easier when you're doing a bit of fussy cutting. Oops, got a bit close to that edge. That's all right. So I will trim that one around a bit. That's the small one, and then I'm going to do the same. Doesn't matter quite so much with this end because that's going to go underneath the tulip. You'll see in a minute. I actually love working with punches. I think punches are fantastic for quick and easy chopping shapes. You don't have to line everything up on a die cutting machine. Okay, that's one. Sorry, I'm sure you don't need to watch. I should have. Usually what I do is cut things out ahead of time, but I did want to show you about ensuring that you cut these out with that white border, or actually it's very vanilla border, just in keeping with the rest of your shapes on this project. And just the small one. So it is quick and easy, this card. And as I say, with the punch, it makes it even easier. I know it's a tiny little bit of fussy cutting, but it's not much. Okay, so we'll start putting this together. I'll remove all the scraps from here. Fantastic. Put that over there. So let's bring this back now, our card front. So what I want to do now is I want to pop up on dimensionals my flowers, because I'm going to feed the stems underneath that, so that I can ensure if you put the stem on and then the flower, you could very well get your flowers all overlapping, etc. So the good thing is just to really have a play. There's no right or wrong. I'm just, you know, sort of, I say that every time though, don't I? But what I did the first time, I actually laid it all out on there before I put any backing on as to where I would like it to go. So I often do that, play with it until I'm happy, and then start putting it together. You just look and see what's a good balance, basically. And then that one there, I think. And maybe there. Okay. Now, when I pop these on, I might do one leaf in there first and then put the stem coming down on top of that. That's all right. And when you put your glue on, oh, excuse me, I just, now what I was saying before about arranging things. So with the stem, so I pop the flowers on, and then I just got my stems to, now I turn this actually would, it's one of the thicker ones, it would actually go here. But you can, if you wanted to turn it round to come in the other direction. You're not going to see that, so you could actually turn it around that way if you wanted. But I am going to stick it in there because I want them to sort of come off to that side. And then so then I just look at that and I think, yep, that's good. And then I start, now don't worry about the lengths because we are going to chop those down. So all I did with these is I wanted to keep the bottom loose like a posy. So all I've done is popped a bit of glue in the top third, just a little bit, and left the bottom bit free. This gets tucked up underneath the flower. Now that doesn't matter if that comes to just about there. And you can still play around with these a bit if need be. Last one. Just a little bit at the top. There we go. So I just want them to meet at one point because that's where the bow is going to go. And then all I did was just chop the ends off like they would be a bit of a posy. And we will then put the leaves on. So these leaves obviously can go either way. They can be that way or that way. So I've just glued these on as well. there. Oh, there's my friendly fly back again. It's so hot here, and being summer, that I am working with the door open, and they always get very excited. So it doesn't matter if you go off the edge. And let me see. Put the bow there. Okay, so next I will stamp. Now with this card here, I have done hello, but in the stamp set there is options. There's Happy Mother's Day, get well soon, may the memories of yesterday comfort you today, what a beautiful difference one single life makes, and happy birthday, and happy Easter, happy spring, happy everything. So this time I thought I'd use happy birthday. And I will just check. So this is happy birthday. I just need to make sure, yep. Just make sure if you're going to use happy birthday from the set, that you then ensure that you've got enough room on the width on the card. I think that is the reason why I did hello the first time. That's the great things about these photopolymer stamps. Obviously, you get to line things up beautifully without having to. So a good thing is to have it straight in front of you. And then, so I do apologise if you're going to see my hair for a minute. I do need to look over, probably see the fact that I need to go to the hairdresser. But it is quite good to be able to look directly down on top of your project to do that. So that is done in the Pretty Peacock, which just matches in then with that card. Now this ribbon I really wanted to share with you. This is in the Poppy suite, and it's Whisper White, and it is crinkled seam binding ribbon, and it is absolutely fantastic. It comes white and it's naturally scrunched up. But the beauty of that is you can colour this any colour that you want, and it picks up the colour really, really quickly. I'll just bring this mat over here to do this. Now all I've used is an alcohol pen, and when you first put it on, it actually looks pink, but it dries the right colour. Probably got way too much ribbon, but that's all right. I will just colour the whole thing. It really soaks it up quickly, goes on quickly, and dries quickly. So we will come back to that in a moment. We'll just start putting, where will I put that? I'll put that over there. Grab it again in a minute. Okay, now I've just covered up going to stamp the inside of the card. So I've stamped the envelope, and this is with the smaller, oh, it's gone right out of my head, and the flower, the stalk. And inside, I'm just going to do the same. So I'm going to use the mint macaroon. Now I did a longer one, so it's quite good if you're stamping with this to do the stalk first and then pop the flower on top. So and for this one, there's three sizes of the tulips. There's large, small, and we are going to be using the medium one for this. There we go. And now we can stick the front on. Oops. I should put my ink pad, shut my ink pad. I know what I'm like. I am not very good at not getting ink everywhere, that's for sure. Okay. So that goes on there. And the last thing, or the last two things, is the ribbon. So the ribbon now has dried and it is purple. So we will just make it into a bow. Want a reasonably long tails on this. Make sure that's long enough. Yep, perfect. So I'll just get my glue dot. My glue dot's somewhere here. Ah, yes, here they are. Just tidy that up a bit. I've got much better with glue dots, I must admit. They were a challenge of mine. Used to get everywhere but my project. Just bring that in a little bit. And then just trim that up. And I need my other scissors, my ribbon scissors, just to give that a nice edge. And lastly, the pearls. So that's the other fantastic thing with these alcohol markers, these Stampin' Blends. You can colour pearls or diamantes to match in any of your projects. So I've done pink on that one, but I'm just going to... Now the trick is too, when you are colouring these pearls, don't go over and over and over and over, because you will take the sheen or the plastic outer coating off, and it will just be all rough and not as pretty. So now I will pop these on. See, as they're drying, they're going the lovely purple posy colour. And then just pop, I'm going to pop 3 on. Dunk. That one there, I think. Oh, that's come off there, that's good. I'll put that one there. And there you have it. So quick. The punch, being able to use the punch, and that's the envelope, is just makes life so easy. And it's just getting it orientated around the right way and maximising your paper, etc. So please do leave a comment, please like, or please subscribe. That would be fantastic. And I'd love to hear from you or see any projects that you may make from this gorgeous bundle. Thank you so much. Take care. Happy crafting.